God has allowed Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa as a seer to dwell in the heavenly realms. It is in that realm where he hears God speaking. He watches as actions take place and he interacts with God. He has been given access into the past, the present, and the future. His role as a prophet to the nations is to give instruction, warnings, and counsel from the Lord for this day. Nations are blessed with safety, peace, and spiritual strength when they listen to and obey His counsel. In the Bible, God would speak to nations through His prophets. Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 1 says, "The word which the Lord spoke concerning Babylon, the land of Chaldeans, through Jeremiah the prophet." In our days we say, "The word which the Lord spoke concerning Zambia, the land of Zambians, through Emmanuel Makandiwa the prophet." Life Haven has become a sanctuary where Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa also takes time to convey the voice of God to visitors from various nations across the world. On the 9th of April 2016, Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa took time to deliver multiple prophecies that covered different nations and prominent personalities as well as individuals. One of the nations that Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa prophesied about was the nation of Zambia. Let us have a recap of the prophecy that the man of God gave regarding the nation of Zambia.
You see, we are coming from different backgrounds and different countries, and most of the countries are represented here. And I normally take this as an opportunity to share with you some of the prophecies that are national, regional, and even international. Because yes. Keep on praying for the nation of Zambia, because as I was praying also for that nation, because normally I pray for nations. I'm not called just to one nation. I'm called by God to many nations. Yes. I'm seeing a group teaming up, gathering themselves together and formulating a terrorist group, because I saw it and it wasn't good gathering, but in Zambia. Because these people, they once had meetings like twice now. And the Lord allowed me to appear as they were having their discussions. So, is it a nationality thing? It's not from foreigners. It's a problem. It's an in-house problem. It's a protest against that. We need to pray for Zambia so that we will not start hearing. It's unheard of in Zambia. But if we don't pray very soon, you'll see it coming out as breaking news. I'm seeing it coming up, but we need to pray. It's very important that we pray.
The word that Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa delivers is live and active. It always formulates itself into becoming a reality. Taking you back, remember Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa had prophesied that if we do not pray very soon, you will see it coming out as breaking news.
But if we don't pray very soon, you'll see it coming out as breaking news.
Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa expressed the urgency of prayers required towards Zambia, as he could foresee that the impending calamity over the nation of Zambia was fast approaching. Exactly 9 days from the day of the prophecy of the man of God was confirmed by events that followed. Just as Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa prophesied, numerous reputable and international media houses had seriously disturbing breaking news on Zambia. something that had never happened before in the history of Zambia. Violence had erupted like a volcano in the once peaceful nation of Zambia. Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa had clearly seen the headlines of the newspapers that would be bearing the breaking news whilst he was monitoring events in the realm of the spirit. British news agency BBC reported Zambia xenophobic riots, 2 burned alive in Lusaka. Australian news agency ABC News reported over 200 arrested in Zambia amid anti-Rwandan attacks. Switzerland broadcaster Swiss Info had the headline, Riots rock Zambia's capital after suspected ritual murders. The Wall Street Journal stated, riot police deployed in Zambian capital after anti-immigrant violence. Africa News reported, xenophobia hit Zambia following accusations of ritual killings. News 24 had the headline, Zambia arrests 200 in riots over ritual killings. Zambian media agency Zambia Reports had the news, George residents target foreign nationals. City FM Online also had the headline, Zambia arrests over xenophobic riots. AITonline.tv reported, wave of xenophobic attacks spreads in Lusaka, Zambia. Meanwhile, on the home ground, our local newspapers also had breaking news on Zambia. Chronicle reported xenophobic attacks erupt in Zambia, whilst Herald reported xenophobia in Lusaka. Leading media agency Al Jazeera did a special insert on the breakout of xenophobia in Zambia.
Joel arrived in Zambia from the Democratic Republic of Congo 7 years ago. He was forced to abandon his small business in Lusaka when rioting began and his shop was looted.
We are dead already. I guess we are dead already. You see, our brothers, they are dead there. They have burned in the shops. They have burned in the houses. You see? Okay, simple as much better we die here. We are not going back there, seriously.
He says he can't return to the community where he lived because it's not safe. More than 300 foreigners have come to this church compound for shelter after being targeted in riots.
There have been several murders over the last month with victims' bodies mutilated. People here say these are ritual killings to secure body parts used for good luck charms. Angry local people are blaming foreigners for the crimes.
It's not from foreigners. It's a problem. It's an in-house problem. It's a protest against that.
The reports that came late in the week stated that the president of Zambia, Edgar Lungu, confirmed there were no foreign nationals that had been killed during the riots. Just as Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa prophesied, it's an in-house problem.
It's an in-house problem.
On the 23rd of April 2016, Zambia Reports, an online publication, had the headline, No foreign national was killed in riots, journalists warned. Part of the report read, President Edgar Lungu says no foreign national was killed in the recent riots that rocked townships in the capital Lusaka. President Lungu has also warned journalists against publishing falsehoods on events in the country, urging them to stick to facts and the truth. Let us hear about the breaking news from other news agencies.
Xenophobic violence broke out in Zambia, leading to riots and looting. Hundreds of foreigners took refuge in police stations and several were burnt to death.
Xenophobic violence in Zambia has taken a fatal turn, with 2 people having been burned to death this week. Dozens of Rwandan-owned shops have been targeted in rioting and looting.
At least 250 people have been arrested following xenophobic riots in the capital, Lusaka.
It was the worst xenophobic violence Zambia's seen in decades. Dozens of Rwandan-owned stores were attacked and looted. And hundreds of foreigners took refuge at police stations in Lusaka.
Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa had prophesied accurately the need to cover Zambia in prayer.
But we need to pray. It's very important that we pray.
The men of God could see the exact place or country where the violent activities would take place.
Keep on praying for the nation of Zambia.
Exactly as the men of God had prophesied, calamity and unrest broke out into the nation of Zambia, and it was breaking news on the 18th of April 2016, which is exactly 9 days from the day Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa had prophesied. Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa prophesied that he could see a group teaming up and gathering themselves together to formulate a terrorist group in Zambia.
I'm seeing a group teaming up, gathering themselves together and formulating a terrorist group.
Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa could see the formation of the group as well as the evil intentions and how they orchestrate their plans.
I saw it and it wasn't good gathering.
A report by all Africa states more than 200 people have been arrested in the Zambian capital Lusaka over protests against suspected ritual killings. The arrest of more than 200 people shows that this was planned by a group of people, just as Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa had prophesied.
So, is it a nationality thing? It's not from foreigners. It's a problem. It's an in-house problem. It's a protest against that.
The Free Dictionary defines a terrorist as an individual who uses violence, terror, and intimidation to achieve a result. It also defines a terrorist as a radical who employs terror as a political weapon and usually organizes with other terrorists in small cells, often uses religion as cover for terrorist activities. Take note, a terrorist will often use religion as a cover for terrorist activities. Please note, Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa gave much more detailed information than what we are releasing now in this prophecy with the guests who were present at the Life Haven Sanctuary. The information that he gave included the root cause of the violence. However, for the sake of maintaining peace, we are not at liberty to release this information at this present moment. Just as Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa had prophesied, the gathering wasn't good.
I saw it and it wasn't good gathering.
And this has resulted in the death and injuries of many people in Zambia within a period of less than 3 days.
We heard that our Zambian people have been burned in Rwanda, so we are going to burn them here as well.
Is it a nationality thing?
Vocabulary.com defines xenophobia as a fear of foreigners or strangers. Xenophobia is like racism, but instead of fearing or distrusting people because of the color of their skin, you fear or distrust them because of their nationality.
Is it a nationality thing?
Or because they are or seem foreign to you. Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa had seen the group gathering together and meeting twice.
Because these people, they once had meetings like twice now.
This manifested in the manner the violence erupted concurrently in more than one place at the same time. This shows clearly that all this had been well orchestrated in advance. African News had a tweet by one Kalimba Piri which said, residents of Zingalume and George Compound are rioting and looting shops belonging to foreigners in Zambia. IOL also reported that the attacks that started on Monday in one of Lusaka's densely populated townships, Zingalume, spread to Ngombe, Kanyama, Chawama, Kalikiliki, Chunga, George and Matero townships. Remember, the root of this breakout of violence is exactly what Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa had emphasized when he said, is it a nationality thing?
Is it a nationality thing?
It's not from foreigners.
It's not from foreigners.
It's a problem. It's an in-house problem.
It's a problem. It's an in-house problem.
It's a protest against that.
It's a protest against that.
According to research, protest means to give manifest expression to objection or disapproval. New Zimbabwe reported that the Minister of Home Affairs, Mr. Davis Mwila, had said these words. Elements in Lusaka with criminal intent had taken advantage of the pain and grief that we all felt over the suspected ritual killings.
I'm seeing a group teaming up, gathering themselves together and formulating a terrorist group.
This shows that certain people had simply taken advantage of the turn of events for them to unleash their criminal or terrorist-related activities. Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa prophesied the need to pray for Zambia.
We need to pray for Zambia so that we will not start hearing it's unheard of in Zambia.
Even the president of the Republic of Zambia in an interview confirmed that this was unheard of in Zambia. He even regarded it as shame.
It's a shame that this has happened in Zambia, which is a country renowned for its peace and its hospitality to refugees.
Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa could see the extent of the violence as well as its magnitude, and as a prophet, his call was for people to also join him in a corporate prayer for the nation of Zambia to dispel the calamity that lay ahead, or so that it would not blow out of proportion. Just as Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa had prophesied, certain news or rumors started surfacing regarding ritual killings within Zambia by foreign nationals.
People here say these are ritual killings to secure body parts used for good luck charms. Angry local people are blaming foreigners for the crimes.
It's not from foreigners.
Riots broke out after 7 bodies were found with several body parts missing. Some Zambians then targeted Rwandan shopkeepers. They accused them of a string of ritual killings.
At least 2 people have been burned to death in xenophobic riots in Zambia's capital, Lusaka. The riots on Monday targeted Rwandan-owned shops over allegations that foreigners were behind a string of ritual killings.
How was it possible that news surfaced just after the prophetic word from the man of God? This just confirms the ability that Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa has to hear the voice of God and see in the realms of the Spirit. Referring to news that would be heard, IOL also reported that the riots were sparked by rumors that Rwandans were behind ritual killings. At least 7 people have been murdered in recent weeks and their body parts removed, supposedly for muti or witchcraft. On the other hand, BBC had the report more than 250 people have been arrested in Zambia's capital, Lusaka, to curb xenophobic violence which has hit the city, police says. At least 62 Rwandan-owned shops had been looted in the riots, which have spread to 9 poor neighbors, police added. Many Zambians describe it as the worst xenophobic violence in the country. The riots started in 2 areas on Monday, following rumors that Rwandans were behind the ritual killings in Lusaka. Rumors circulating on social media alleged the body parts would be used as charms to ensure success in business. Just as Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa had prophesied that we would start hearing.
We need to pray for Zambia so that we will not start hearing.
This meant a surfacing of news and rumors that would just come from nowhere. This eruption of violence was contrary to the reputation of Zambia, considering that it is a country well known for its peace. There is no way that Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa could guess about an impending disturbance in the nation unless God had shown him. The magnitude of peace in Zambia is something that had been internationally acclaimed since its independence in the year 1964. Definitely, as Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa had prophesied, such an occurrence was unheard of in Zambia, considering its status symbol of peace.
It's unheard of in Zambia.
In August 2014, Times Zambia had the headline, Zambia, third peaceful nation in Africa. Part of its report read, Zambia is the third peaceful nation in Africa, while it occupies slot number 44 in global rankings for the 2014 Global Peace Index, according to a latest study by the Institute for Economics and Peace. In March 2015, one website, UK Zambians, reported Zambia declared most peaceful country in Africa. The report had these details. The concept of peace is difficult to define and even more difficult to measure. However, since 2006, the Global Peace Index has defined peace as the absence of violence and has sought to determine what cultural attributes and institutions are associated with states of peace. The most recent rankings has Zambia as the most peaceful African country. Somalia is considered the least peaceful country, followed by South Africa and Sudan. The Global Peace Index defines a nation at peace as being one not involved in violent conflicts with neighboring states or suffering internal wars, which is sometimes called negative peace. The top 5 peaceful countries in Africa are as follows: Zambia, Island of Mauritius, Botswana, Chad, Burundi. Once again, on the 22nd of January 2016, leading international news agency BBC had profiled Zambia as a leading peaceful nation in Africa. One quote from BBC report states, "Another draw for visitors is the fact that Zambia has been peaceful and generally trouble-free, especially compared to most of the 8 neighbors with which it shares a border." Barely 2 days after Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa's prophecy and exactly 7 days before the reported violent attacks, Zambia Daily Nation had reported on the peacefulness of Zambians. Part of the report reads, "Because Zambians are Christians in a Christian nation, while doing some business, they have remained peaceful. Most Zambians individually, in groups and collectively, are busy praying day and night to ask God, the Almighty, to ensure that nothing like the opposite of peace should happen in Zambia, now and in the future. Therefore, although peace and stability shouldn't be taken for granted, credit should be given to Zambians and the successive governments for sustaining peace and stability in this country, for every citizen to enjoy doing what he or she loves."
It's unheard of in Zambia.
Meanwhile, BBC's Melus Kapatamoyo from Lusaka reported that the riots have shocked many Zambians who say they cannot recall such hostility towards foreigners in the country. These reports are adequate evidence that an incident like this was the least expected to take place in the peaceful nation of Zambia. Just as Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa had prophesied, what would take place was unheard of in Zambia since its independence in 1964.
It's unheard of in Zambia.
Once again, Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa prophesied the need to pray for Zambia.
But we need to pray. It's very important that we pray.
This emphasis was based on what Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa could see taking place. Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa knew that only the power of prayer could diffuse the magnitude of the violent attacks and the rampage that later erupted. This violence could have spread like a wildfire, but by reason of prayer, it was quickly managed. On the 21st of April 2016, Zambia deployed 400 soldiers to ensure calm and peace was maintained in Zambia. Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa prophesied so many things regarding the nation of Zambia. Let us go through what the men of God said. Number 1. Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa prophesied that he was seeing Zambia.
Keep on praying for the nation of Zambia.
Number 2. Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa prophesied about a group teaming up and gathering themselves together.
I'm seeing a group teaming up, gathering themselves together.
Number 3. Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa prophesied about a group formulating a terrorist group in Zambia.
And formulating a terrorist group.
Number 4. Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa prophesied that the gathering he had seen wasn't good, but it was taking place in Zambia.
I saw it and it wasn't good gathering, but in Zambia.
Number 5. Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa prophesied that these people once had a meeting twice.
Because these people, they once had meetings like twice now.
Number 6. Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa mentioned that the Lord had allowed him to appear prophetically whilst in the spirit as they were having their discussions.
And the Lord allowed me to appear as they were having their discussions.
Number 7. Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa prophesied, "So is it a nationality thing?"
So is it a nationality thing?
Number 8. Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa prophesied that the situation had not been caused by foreigners, but it was an in-house problem.
It's not from foreigners. It's a problem. It's an in-house problem.
Number 9. Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa prophesied that he was seeing a protest.
It's a protest against that.
Number 10. Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa prophesied the need to pray for Zambia. Number 11. Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa prophesied that there was news that we would start hearing.
We need to pray for Zambia so that we will not start hearing.
Number 12. Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa prophesied that what would happen was unheard of.
It's unheard of in Zambia.
Number 13. Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa prophesied that if people did not pray very soon with urgency, he could see an issue on Zambia coming up as breaking news.
But if we don't pray very soon, you'll see it coming out as breaking news.
In exactly 9 days, this prophecy manifested. Number 14. Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa prophesied that it was very important that people pray for the nation of Zambia.
But we need to pray. it's very important that we pray.
Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa is God's prophet to the nations. He is called to the nations so he can release God's hand of power. Because Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa can see what lies ahead, he is also able to give direction and hope for the future of Zambia. From the very day that this prophecy manifested, the Zambian nationals who were present as Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa delivered this prophecy at the Life Haven Sanctuary started sending emails expressing their shock regarding the manifestation of the prophecy, as well as appreciating such a powerful prophetic covering. Following the recent dispatch of soldiers to maintain peace and calm, they have also made their request for the prophet to continue praying for their nation. However, Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa's response was that he was thankful to the government of Zambia for its response to protect the victims of the xenophobia violence and maintaining peace. Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa and UFIC will continually pray for the nation of Zambia. To God be the glory.